Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome in. You guys couldn't see it, everybody watching, but I watched Rod be literally typing up until the second that thing hit 2 seconds. Then he was like locked in. So anyway, welcome in, everybody. We got Emmaus here, as you can see. Thanks for being here, Emmaus. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is going to be a good one. I don't want to take too much. I mean, we already kind of ruined the suspense with our thumbnail and title here, but so I'll take that part out of his mouth and the rest we'll let him talk about. But Emmaus has built an incredible business. I'm grateful that he's willing to jump on here and spend some time with us. From 0 to 26K in a month within 9 months is insane. And so, yeah, I'm grateful that you're willing to jump on here, Emmaus. And I guess give us a little intro. I know you had a wedding video background. So talk to me about that and why the switch to real estate media.
Very good question. Yes. So I've been into wedding videography ever since high school. I think, I'm doing it for about 8 years now. And I remember we hit our first 6 figures a couple years in, and then we just constantly kept growing since then. And I remember it was about last July when all of a sudden we looked and just booking sort of stopped and cash flow stopped. And I was so curious why. I was like, it's not our product. Usually, like Eli talks about, it's usually not the product why people aren't booking you. And I think the main thing that it was is that in weddings, you don't have the 3 R's, or at least you may have some required, but you don't have repeat business.
Yeah.
I've worked so hard. I worked my butt off to get that one client, and they paid me thousands of dollars. And at the end of the day, I said goodbye.
Yeah.
And then the next day I went to go and try to get another one. And my wife and I found out that we were expecting our first child. That's her footprints back there. She's here now. Her name's Olivia. And we're like, okay, baby's coming soon. We want Hannah to be a stay-at-home mom. And I said, honestly, this is just too risky sitting around waiting for brides to knock on our door for weddings. I said, I want to build something that's more sustainable and that's more honoring to my family. Of course, weddings are great. God's always provided for our family, but we want something that had more consistent income. And the other thing that was a little annoying about weddings was it was hard to be proactive. For example, if I woke up and I said, man, I want to make $20,000 this month, it's not like I could see a girl with an engagement ring on at Walmart and be like, hey, by chance, hey, my name is Emmaus. Do you have a wedding videographer? You just can't do that. You'd be a weirdo. And I realized what I was doing is I took my hands and I sat on them and I just had to sit on my hands and wait for weddings to come in.
Yeah, which, I know a little bit about you. I would imagine that especially for you is hard as someone who likes to get out there and get it done.
Drove me nuts.
Yeah.
And I tried anything I could. I tried doing Facebook ads and I tried doing everything. And it worked. 1 month we peaked at around 30,000 profit in weddings, which was wonderful. And then 1 month, I think I made $1,000 profit.
Yeah.
With my wife wanting to be a stay-at-home mom and the baby on the way. That sucks.
Good combination,
That's scary. And that was really the shift into real estate media because I saw the potential through what Eli laid out. It says, wait a second, what's this whole repeat business type of thing? Where you do the work and then they book you again, on Thursday and then next Tuesday and then the week after. And I said, that's something I definitely want to learn about.
It's it's a very big switch. If you've been in the business where you have to get new customers all the time, repeat business is feels too good to be true. The way I always talk about it is ideally you want a business where you get credit for the past action that you took in the future and not just once. So it's this, Emmaus, and everybody here I think probably knows about the repeat business being a big part of why we're all in this industry. Because if we had to get a client and it could only do one $300 shoot for them and it wouldn't be worth it. But it's funny, speaking of the longer play of it, I have clients literally that still use us from almost 12 years ago. And so it's cool that it just compounds, as you're saying. Basically, it's you do this work and you get all these clients, but every month, I use the analogy of climbing up a set of stairs, right? You have one client, you're on step 1, 2 clients, step 2. You don't reset, like you're saying with weddings, back to the ground floor. Now, granted, you have brand name, people know you, they're excited to work, but it's not the same as them booking you over and over. So anyway, you got into real estate media. As someone who's coming from another photography business, what are some things you think helped you be successful? And then what are some things you sort of had to unlearn?
One of the things one of the reasons I got into it was my friend Crosby Brackens. He's about 2 hours away from here. I'm pretty sure you met him before. He's wonderful.
Yeah, great guy.
And actually, I'll answer that question in just a second. But to actually lead up to real estate, I was calling him. trying to still play it cool, but I was like, dude, like what is happening to like the wedding industry right now? He's like, I'm not sure, man. Like we're seeing some trends. Some other people are seeing trends. You should really do real estate media. I was like, dude, I would hate that job. I was like, I'm not doing these $200 photo shoots. And then a couple of days later, hey man, you should really try real estate. I'm like, this is almost starting to get annoying. And then finally, the third time, the part that just pushed me over the ledge, we're on the phone. I was just honestly complaining about like, why aren't bookings coming in? He said, oh wait, sorry, I just heard a notification. Oh, cool. Now look at that. I just made $2,000. I said, what in the world? I'll do. I mean, that's more than twice I made that month in weddings. Yeah. And finally I said, okay, I need to pay attention to what you're talking about. And he started telling me, he said, Mayus, you can just film reels on your iPhone. And at first I said, no, I am not that dumb. I am like who would possibly pay money for videos filmed on an iPhone when I have an A7S III, a Ronin, and all this stuff? And he was like, dude, this agents just don't really care about that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what are you talking? And I heard these stories of people like Kevin who showed up to a shoot and didn't even know his settings and was whooping my tail at that point. I was like, but I know all this stuff about cameras. So that was so hard to unlearn. The creative part was that gear doesn't matter. I don't need a Sony G Master lens and all this stuff and backup cameras. What I needed was some passion. What I needed was some intensity. What I needed was some work ethic.
Yeah.
And ultimately what I needed was someone to hold my hand and help guide me down the path I've never been down before. Mm-hmm. And it's just like the magic I'm looking for is in the work I'm avoiding. That's what it was in that moment. It wasn't about how do I watch YouTube videos on when the new Sony A7S IV is coming out. That's what's going to make me more. The work was actually in what am I avoiding? And I need to buckle in. I need to do something difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense too, because I mean, you're rewarded for your skill in the wedding industry for sure. I mean, obviously there's a business element of it too, because there's great wedding photographers that don't get bookings, but like it's more rewarded. So that makes sense. And I think that's a hard transition for a lot of people. So I guess on the positive side, I mean, I would imagine that owning a business before was helpful to you. And so what are the things that like owning a prior photography business you think helped you with?
I would have to say at least understanding some of the legal complexities in terms of LLC, business insurance, S corporation. So at least I had that background to it. But at least what I would share to someone starting out, if they say, man, I've never had a wedding videography business doing $30K a month, man, I can't do this. I'll let you know. I mean, having a prior background experience maybe help me out 10%. If you don't have any prior background experience, if you're working at Burger King right now and you have a desire to do this, you can do the exact same thing that I've done, if not better, with the same amount of work ethic. So it definitely helped knowing what ISO and what shutter speed meant. But as you teach all the time, we don't really change the settings that much.
Yeah.
Versus with weddings, I have to nail in the white balance to make sure it matches the bride's skin tone and make sure that the dress stays white. And I did all the editing and I realized I was like, cool. I mean, I thought it was going to help me a lot more. I was like, man, I'm a good editor. And I asked my friend CrossFit, said, how do you edit photos? And he's just sort of started laughing at me. He said, like, dude, like you don't edit pictures. I'm like, no, I have to, man. I have like Lightroom. I already pay for it. So he's like, dude, you can pay someone like 60 cents and they'll edit. I'm like, dude, what? So it was one of those things where it definitely helped. It didn't help as much as people would think it does.
I agree. I think, maybe there's the stuff you said, like just the practical, like setting up the LLC. There's an element to the confidence of it too, that I think matters, but like, that's all stuff that can be gained if this is your first business too. So I love what you said about it helps 10%, but don't let that be a reason not to start it. Okay. One thing that I've noticed about you is like, you have, you said it earlier, you have passion, you have strong work ethic and energy to do this. And I think that's a big part of your success. But I know that even people that are like that still have moments where they're not like, when you get off here, you have moments of being tired. You have moments where you don't want to do stuff. You're not like always hit, you know what I mean? And so I guess, how do you, in those moments, what do? Do you just disengage for a little bit? Or like, how do you keep what I see as like really high energy up?
I'll say the main thing for me, especially whenever starting, was I had to keep the why in front of me. I have a whiteboard over here to my side, and the very top left, it has why. Mm-hmm. And I remember before my daughter was born, I put 12 weeks until Olivia's here, 10 weeks until Olivia's here. And at the very start, I mean, the truth is, being transparent here, is I said, I want my wife to be a stay-at-home mom. And unless the wedding industry shifts, I'm not sure if that's possible if this doesn't take off. And that's why some people are like, man, how do you get such great results? And I'll tell them straight up, I said, you're working hard to get a new BMW. I'm working hard so my wife can stay at home. Mm-hmm. We have a different why. Mm-hmm. And it was so intense to the point where whenever I started cold calling agents, I told myself, I'm not going to eat today until I get a yes. And then the very next day I said, I'm not going to eat again until I get a yes. And a few weeks later I said, I'm not going to eat again until I get 5 yeses. And I went after it with a complete intensity because I knew what was at stake.
Yeah.
And now my wife, she's at a Forrest Frank concert right now, having the time of her life. And we're not stressed about money at all because honestly, the intensity and the grind, and I believe also the Lord's favor over our business because we honor him in our tithes and offerings and we're a super generous company. Mm-hmm. But I mean, really, it was the work and the intensity and the drive and just keeping that why right in front of you is what really kept you going because it was so discouraging at times.
Yeah. You have to have a bit, it has to be more painful not to do something than it is to do something for most people to do it. And Good. So like, that's why I like how you set it up for yourself is like, you reminded yourself of it and you made, there's many ways that you could have achieved that goal. Right. And so sometimes making like a decision is just eliminating the other options. So you're like, this is the thing that I want to achieve. And this is the one path I'm going to achieve that because you weren't trying to start 4 different businesses at the same time, which is what a lot of people do. When they set that, right? They try to do like a little bit of everything and you like laser focus on the one thing. So you mentioned cold calling. I want to talk about specifically what you did. And let's talk about it in the frame of someone who's brand new day one. And let's assume they have a big why. And obviously like coaching's a part of it, but like not even coaching, like what do you do right now? I mean, you started cold calling, like what does that look like?
Wonderful. This is going to sound so silly, but what I recommend people doing is go to the gym and sweat and lift some weights first before you pick up the phone to call. Because I know in the morning, if I wake up, I'm a little groggy and I have some breakfast, I sit down, I'm like, man, I'm not really in the mood. Actually, how about I'll do it in a little bit? And actually, how about I work on my website first or something stupid that doesn't matter like that? Compared to you go to the gym and whenever I pick up this phone, I need to feel like a beast. You need to feel like I am going to close anyone who picks up the phone. Someone doesn't need to answer my call unless they want to get closed. And that's the type of mentality that really you need to have, but also having the heart aspect of it, that I really believe in what I'm selling them. So whenever I call someone, the first thing I did is I looked at people who had bad photos on Zillow. And I said, if they have bad pictures, I mean, honestly, I didn't have anything else to do that day besides sit around and wait for wedding bookings. So I said, hey, my name's Emmaus. And, when I first started, I would not advise doing this because I probably ticked some people off. As I started out, and I didn't say I'm a photographer. I said, hey, is this Eli? Yeah, what's up? Hey, my name's Emmaus. Are you the agent of this property? Hey, cool. Yeah, can you tell me something about it? And they went on for a minute telling me about it. And the reason I did that was to get more invested on the call. And then at the end, say, man, that is so neat. Oh, I may have some friends who are interested in it. But by the way, I'm a real estate photographer. So I wanted to reach out and see if I could offer you a free photo shoot. Yeah. And then I realized that's probably not the best way to go about it. And it was in the video I did for cold calling. That's inside coaching, which if you're not inside coaching, highly recommend it. In the video, honestly, a couple different methods. I just picked up and said, hey, is this Eli? Yep. Hey, I came across your listing. I'd love to give you some professional pictures. Do you mind if I bless you with those? Mm-hmm. They're like, what in the world? Like, really? Is there a catch? And I'm like, no, honestly, I just want to bless you. And honestly, if the pictures are good, you can call me back in the future. Or if they're terrible, we can still shake hands and be friends. If that doesn't offend you in any way, how does 10 a.m. tomorrow work for you?
I loved when you said in the video specifically when I was listening to it, you asked the guy if that would offend him. And like the way that question, you have to say, no, it won't offend me. Yeah. So it's like so I guess what I'm trying to get, I don't know if this is something you've spent time getting better at, or if you're just naturally good at sales, but you do a lot of stuff that's like someone who's been in sales for a while understands is a great psychological way to ask something and like a great frame of how you do the calls in general. So like, where does that come from?
Training over and over. I have word tracks in my head. I mean, if we did a mock cold call right now, there is no way you could say no to me.
Yeah. No, I noticed that in your call. I mean, nobody did, it was like,
they aren't able to.
They said less, yes, but it was still a yes.
It was. And even if someone says, maybe I say, here, how about this? How about, because this offer is so great, how about you think on it and I'll call you back in a few hours? Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
And even something as simple as saying, does that sound fair? I don't say, Is that okay with you? Because they can say no. I never want to ask a question I can't predict the answer to. Does that sound fair?
Is that reasonable? Will that offend you?
Because they can't say it's unreasonable. They may not want it, but it's at least fair.
Yeah.
And what I recommend people is like, I can tell the world is tired of amateurs. People will think people don't like salesmen. Honestly, the truth is people just hate amateurs because people go out there and try to do whatever, but people love people who are good at what they do, who are confident at what they do.
Yeah.
And that's for me, I will practice. I will sometimes annoy my wife. I will practice these word tracks with her at dinner, and I'll be like, I want you to try to shoot me down. Try to. And I'll try these ones, and then I'll call up a friend. Hey, I'm going to do a mock cold call. I want you to try to shoot me down. You cannot say no to me.
Yeah. And I think like something that you back it up with is important because people, you said they don't like the amateur. And I think a lot of the time the amateur manifests as someone who's just trying to get, pass something off on you or win you over in an ingenuine way. And so I think you have to back it up with, like you said, you are offering them a great product and the offer itself is like too good to be true in a real way, right? It's like, it's free. And from what I know about you, you mean it. You're not like mad if they don't book you. You don't call them and complain. That's the deal, And so, okay. The thing that I really want to get to though, is like, so you've practiced and you have the skill. How do you is it just the way you are, or like you have less showed fear than the average person? Most people understand everything you're saying, but they're like, yeah, but my hand's shaking when I call. And it's just so scary. So where does that come from? Is that something you've always had?
I'll tell you, it was actually the complete opposite. I remember before I joined coaching, one of my friends, her name was Kim. She invited me to this realtor after hours event. And she said, here, you can just come and connect with agents. And back then I had maybe one shoot every other week. I mean, it was pretty much a joke at that point. And I said, and probably that shoot every other week was probably free. So it wasn't really making any money. And I said, sure, why not? I'll go. And Eli made a big mistake. I didn't go to network. I went to sell.
Yeah.
And I walked in with trifold brochures and I walked in with pants and a shirt that was tucked in and a belt. Yeah. And these are realtors who are drinking after hours, hanging out as friends. And I walked up to a friend group and I said, here you go. You can get your first photo shoot for free if you just scan the QR code on the back. And this lady gave me the look of, why do you put this trash in my hand? And at that point, my face turned red. I started sweating and I went to the car and I called my wife and I said, there has to be another way than this. Because if this is the way to do it, I'm out. Mm-hmm. And I said, I'm so bad at this. I carried myself like I was a loser when I walked into events. I had my head low. I didn't give firm handshakes. I'm like, hey, I do MLS photos. And I started because I wasn't confident. I didn't believe in what I was doing. And Eli, I love what you teach. What's so powerful about this industry is that small wins will just ignite you. And I remember I did a free shoot. And when someone would book me again, I'd be like, let's go. We're growing. I need to hire 10 photographers. Okay, wait, I need to calm it down a little bit. But I remember it's those small wins that just ignited me. And ultimately, I told myself, Emmaus, you don't have a backup plan. Just like Kevin says, you have to burn the ships. You have to go all in. And honestly, if I was discouraged, I'd go to the gym and I'd try to bench press for 30 minutes. I'd feel like a beast. I'd pick up the phone again because I'd want to eat the next day. And I wasn't eating until I got a yes.
Yeah. Fair. And you really needed after working out.
I did. I was hungry, man. I was like, will someone please say yes to me?
Oh, I love it. It's cool because I think part of what you're saying when I ask questions is you just transfer the energy of the excitement, I got to do it thing. And so I think the cool thing that you have is some people that do the all in approach go very famine mode where they're it's like a desperate, I got to do it, where yours is almost like a game out of it. And I don't mean that to discredit any of your why or anything, but you make it in a way where it's you have this stuff thoughtfully in place, right? You know that going to the gym and exercising physically gets the blood flowing, and then you're feeling more confident. You figured out those things that most people take a long time to figure out. And so I'm highlighting that because I think physical exercise before you have to do something you don't want to do is such an underrated hack. It makes you feel better. It's something Rod talks about with our team all the time is you got to get your exercise right. That's the first thing every day. It makes you feel better. You go. And so I just think that's really cool. Okay. So let's talk about the other side of the business. Cause there's Emmaus that can obviously sell and can get yourself in a position where you need to sell and where you have the motivation to learn the stuff. Right. But then there's you delivering the product, which I imagine is equally passionate. Because you know about the referrals and you just want to take care of your customers. So what do you think, like, what does a shoot look like with you, and how do you make sure a customer becomes a repeat customer after you offer them free?
That's a very good question. And I've learned this the hard way, because I realized I was out there doing free shoots and customers weren't coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at the pictures. I said, these aren't bad pictures. These are just bad systems. And I realized, I said, I need to sit down. I need to stop learning about camera gear. I have to undo my learning, and I have to actually learn something I haven't learned before. And something that's intentional, something I do that's very intentional, I try to do, is I want to make sure that I touch a client every 5 weeks.
Okay.
And how do I touch them? It could be through my e-news that my VA writes. It could be through, I have a VA who will schedule Instagram posts and add them as collaborators. I have a Monday board with all my clients in there. I had ChatGPT help me write it and help me write all these formulas and automations. And yeah, of course, this does cost $200 a month. But is it worth it? At that point, I haven't figured out, okay, when's the last time I talked to him? I have a new VA. He's to start texting them. And so I tried to have systems where I constantly touch them, and just so I'm front of mind to them. And something that's important to me, I learned from you about 3 weeks ago, and I think about it 4 times a day, at least, if not more, is that I need to think about their business more than I think about mine and what's important to them. I'm a part of another real estate photographer group, and I'm on a Facebook group. I'm about to leave because most of them are jerks. Mm-hmm. They're so rude. They always talk about how agents are the bad guys, and they're just out to get you whenever you're not paying attention. And I view it as, honestly, like, I'm here just to serve you. Maybe you didn't have enough time to go pick up the flooring boards at the house. Like, I went to this home yesterday. There's like a bunch of flooring boards like stacked over the ground in a pile. I texted the agent. I was like, hey, do you mind if I move these to the garage for you? And again, somebody like, no, I need to leave. I charge a reschedule fee. I'd be like, well, cool. Hey, how about you do that? And then I'll come and I'll scoop them up, and then I'm gonna whoop your tail. How about that? That sound fair? And that's what I'm gonna do, because I see all these agents or all these media companies who are so rude to their clients. It amazes me. And so anyway, we have 210 clients in 9 months. And one of the main ways we do it is we just care for people. I truly love our clients. I'm so grateful for them. I have a stack of Chick-fil-A gift cards. I'll sometimes just mail them out. I'm like, hey, it's just an honor and a pleasure to serve you. And this is just my way of saying thank you. Mm-hmm. And what I realized is that personal is powerful. I learned that in ministry. Whenever you can make a personal connection, you can go a whole lot further than just spitting a fact or sending out something through MailChimp. Make a personal connection, care for them. And for me, this may be a little controversial, but I can't be controversial, is that I have a 5 to 10% margin financially and emotionally for what I call my it's like taking advantage of margin. Yeah. Yep. Where someone's like, man, they may take advantage of you. I'm like, you know what? They may. But I have this client who spends about $1 to $2 grand a week with me. Yeah. And honestly, sometimes she may take a little bit of advantage of me. She rescheduled 4 times and may take a few days late to pay her, may ask me to move some things for her. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. Honestly, you can take advantage of me to some degree if you want. Like, I don't care. I mean, I'm just here to serve you at the end of the day. Like, you're my friend. Even if you never book me again, I'm still here for you, and I'll still encourage you. I'll cheer you on, and hey, I'll applaud when you win. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's something that's so important. Even like when people post under contract, if they post sold, I'll comment back, congratulations, let's go. Another thing I do when people reach out, hey, I have a new listing for you. I don't say, how does Wednesday at 9 a.m. work? I'll be like, Rod, congrats on the new listing, man. That's so exciting. You're killing it. I want to help partner with you, but I want to make 2025 your best year yet in real estate. But hey, by the way, have you seen our new photo video package? It'll blow you away. It'll make it the best experience of your life, and you'll spend the rest of the week picking your jaw up off the floor. If that's something that doesn't offend you in any way and you're interested, how's Friday at noon work?
No, it's you have like a certain I don't even know how to describe it. It's like stuff that like it works, but a lot of people are just uncomfortable doing it. And I think that's not a diss to you at all. It's awesome. I think that's why the business grows so quickly, because you have that energy.
Well, it stems from pure conviction in the product, like Emmaus was saying about. You can call it having a green heart, where you want to get this deal done, but it comes from a place of you truly believing in what you're providing and how much it'll actually help them and their business and help them. And everything comes through the lens of that, being so genuine that no matter how we say something, as long as it's coming through that lens, it just comes out the way it needs to. And it doesn't feel like a strategy. It just feels like what's right and what should be done. And it feels like just how you should normally treat someone to make a decision, and just raw confidence in the product to scoop a jaw off the ground. That's a good line.
Well, it's even funny because like, I think that, so the backing up what you say is where people develop that trust. So like, Emmaus said stuff that I'm like, dude, like I would be like laughing to have to send some of that, but it works because he backs it up. So it's the nice
And you
thing.
want to have fun with the agents. They're in
Yeah.
sales. Like,
Yes, exactly.
give them a line that they'll use later and go, that's a good one. I'm gonna use
if
that
you're
one.
fake, you can't say what Emmaus says,
Exactly.
right? If you do that, but like the stuff that Emmaus is saying is almost so much it seems fake, but because it's him saying it, he can do it, and that's because he has that, like, he's excited about this. I mean, everybody can tell here. It's like in the best way possible. It's almost exhausting to listen to Emmaus because like there's all this stuff I need to do, you know, and it's good. Like it's the kind of feeling you want. So, man, I had a question. Oh, okay. It was about it's basically like the clients that take advantage of you. And you mentioned the other, you know, media. A lot of people in our industry are just, I think what happens is there are those people that do quote unquote take advantage, whatever that means, right? Those 5 to 10% that you said, whatever it is, like those people exist. And what happens is if you're not saying I'm okay with that, then every time it happens, it like stabs you a little bit. And so I think a lot of these people, they're like waiting, and then they have 50 stabs, and now it was 5 or 10% of their clients. Now they hate the other 90% because they associate. And so like, I think there's something really important to remember about that. And it's not just a better way to live, in my opinion. Like if you're just always waiting to be attacked and like being slighted by, like, that's a terrible way to live. But it also is a terrible business strategy because then you end up like a lot of these other people they kind of hate their clients. And when you start down the road of hating your clients, you don't grow your business. It goes the opposite direction, and it's terrible. It's awful. Like, I mean, it's not a good way to live, in my opinion. It's painful. So anyway, I think that's really important. Okay, so we got like do you have like 5 more minutes, Emmaus?
My wife is at a concert. I have nowhere to be.
Perfect. Okay, so we've talked about like kind of what you've done at this point and the way you did it. It's just like a lot of raw doing the work, making calls, you know, doing the boring work, as Hormozy says, which is a great quote. Because a lot of it is, it's like cold calls is just boring. I mean, they're a little scary too, but like you have to do it a lot. So anyway, that's allowed you to build the here. What's kind of the future? What would you like to have happen, or what are your goals for the business, like kind of over the next year?
That's a very good question. So recently I just hired my second VA. I have one VA who does QC and delivery. He does social media scheduling to get that off my plate. So my new VA, he's going to do a lot of the middle level management projects for me so that I can spend more time doing client acquisition. I just hired my next photographer and videographer. She'll start hopefully within 2 weeks as well, just to really start growing and expanding with that. I actually have some goals on my whiteboard. I'd love to have, I have to adjust it. It says 30K a month by October. I probably got to double that. I have a few other things like 50K in retained earnings. I have a goal to pay off our house in 3 years. So we have a couple of different goals that way. Another goal that's really personal to me, which I attribute a lot of our success to, is we want to be known as being radically generous in our community and to our team members. Okay. Something as simple as, who knows, maybe even asking one of our photographers in a few months, like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, like, how much is your rent this month? Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Hey, cool. There you go. Hey, I just appreciate you. Thank you for all you do. Yeah. I mean, even just small things like that for like our VAs, having systems set up where we can just bless them immensely. Mm-hmm. And we have fine-tuned those margins so tight. Honestly, we don't feel it, man. Yeah. We have tightened that thing down like a screw. Yeah. And we have such a well-oiled machine, and just continue working on that. Again, not just for my own gain, not just so we can get a Lambo and all that stuff. I mean, honestly, all that stuff will fade one day. But what really matters is the way we treat people, the way we care for people. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I love it to the point, if there's an agent who I'll know has a listing of someone's parents who's passed and they don't have enough money to pay for me, like, here, absolutely, here, I'd be more than happy to just comp that for you. I'm just grateful for you. I just want to honor you today. Yeah. And just really have some goals where we can just increase our generosity in our business. I'm not going to be the one to say, like, I can't be generous until this point. I mean, we're doing generosity at the levels of like hundreds of dollars at a time. But I'd love to get to the point where we're doing thousands at a time and tens of thousands to bless our team, to bless our community. And yeah, just to make it less about ourselves and more about how we can serve others. Yeah. I mean, it's a, regardless of like anybody's worldview or thoughts, it's like, the businesses that do that, especially like local service business, it's just a good business move as well, because it focuses your brain on, I think, creating like a business that's growing, that's performing well. So you have the means to do that. And so I think that's really cool. I don't even know what to ask next. I mean,
Rod, is there anything specifically that you want to touch on for the last couple minutes here? I'm laughing because there's someone in the comments saying there's no money in real estate photography as we're interviewing Emmaus.
Man, I used to be broke. I'm far from that now, man. I'm telling you, this stuff works if you put your mind into it. You're 100% wrong.
Yeah, you have to work. That's the key thing. And I understand, Terry, I understand your skepticism because he followed up by saying the money is in selling courses. And of course, there's money in selling courses too. But I think my thing has always been like, if you have a business that it works really well and you sell courses for that, it's like a dual combo. So that's why I do it. But like, I mean, I guess any thoughts for someone that's like skeptical, not of coaching. Like I'm not saying to join coaching at all, Terry. But Emmaus, from you, like any thoughts on the industry, that'd be good for Terry?
Absolutely. I'll tell you, for someone like that, there's usually a lot of haters out there, which is why, I come bad that try to squash that pretty quick, because what I just encourage you to do is to, not come at it from a perspective of what's someone doing wrong and how someone trying to scam me, but go into it with the perspective of what could I learn from someone. And I'll say the reason that got me upset is because like Eli has an amazing product. It's not a fraud. And what I would say is if you're a little bit skeptical about if coaching is a fraud or not, Eli could just go back into Ryan Norman and Young, which is making a crazy ton of money if he wanted to do that. He could have stayed there and continued to scale it, but he wanted to step out to help others at that point. So he does have another business as well he's running. But in terms of real estate media, it's something where if you're willing to put in the work and the effort, trust me, you can go. Because remember, honestly, I used to feel broke. I used to feel scared. And if you put in the work and the discipline, I'm telling you, you can be far from broke. And Eli talks about it all the time. He interviews one of my friends, Bo. This dude's 21 years old, $30K a month. He is far from broke. Kevin Salgado doing, I listened to his talk multiple times. He is far from broke. And if you need a testimony, all these people can go and tell you that it just works. Yeah. And I'll see, we don't have to prove anything to you because you can just look around. And I love this quote that says, a man with an opinion is at the mercy of a man with an experience. So just go and take a look at some people who are doing it right, and you'll see pretty quick that you're wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. I like what you said. And the biggest thing that I hope people, apart from Terry, just generally is like, I want them to take away that you have the results you do because you have a crazy work ethic and you've created sort of like systems in your head of how to make that happen, right? Like you said plenty of times, you go to the gym, there's like tactics for specifically cold calling, the way you approach things. And so, for anybody listening, I would hope that would be your takeaway from listening to Emmaus, among other things, is like, this guy puts in the work, you're not like a lazy guy, Emmaus. And I think a lot of people have a lot of time spent thinking about how they're going to do something. Whereas my take on, you and anybody who's successful really is they just have a lot less time between I'm thinking about to do something and it's done, or I thought of something and it's done. Like you push it together. So Emmaus, thank you for being here. That was awesome. That was like high energy Q&A. So it's amazing.
Well, thank you. Any other questions or anything I can do to serve you guys or the viewers?
I don't think so. I think you just
like that. It's just ingrained in his DNA to ask that.
Yeah, I know. That's an example.
I love what you said about just being able to. I mean, you had your why for for your daughter. How old is Olivia now?
She is 3 months.
Oh, incredible! So I love how you had your why. It was really revolved around her and your wife, and now it's just evolving. Just to see a why evolve is pretty special. Now to be able to help those around you and help your community. And it's we've been following you pretty hard the last 9 months, and all of us chatting about you, without you there, I guess, behind your back, I guess, in the in our Slack chats. And just it's been fast, amazing, but also inspiring. And you're quick to want to help our students here in our community here, and quick to put training up inside our coaching program about cold calling, because you got that down to a dang science. My goodness. And you've done a lot for us that you might not even know about. So I just wanted to thank you, obviously, for taking the time to be on and helping our community here, like you've done so much too. So yeah, and you got a good mic. I love your mic. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. It was an honor.
Well, thank you, Emmaus. Have a great evening. Keep at it. I want to have you back on here when you're doing like 100K a month or 75K or something. So.
Okay.
So 3 months?
Yeah. So 3 months.
Gotcha.
Thank you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Later, man. That was awesome. How was that, everybody? He has a lot of energy. Like I think that
was 5 minutes. It's already 36 minutes.
No, I know.
Crazy.
It's great. It's interesting. I like it's funny because sometimes when you think about someone having a lot of energy, you assume that's just them, but like that's totally a place you can get yourself into by setting up the right stuff for yourself. You get excited about something, have a big why. Like, so I hope that's the takeaway. I don't want anyone being like, oh, it's just Emmaus, he can do it. Like, first of all, I've seen plenty of people that have built businesses like his that aren't as energetic, but they all have those core things they say, right? It's like they're willing to put in the work. So Emmaus put in the work, but people who are, quieter put in the work. They are genuine and want to serve their clients. They, like Emmaus said, 5 to 10% of those people are going to quote unquote take advantage. It's usually small stuff. It's not like malicious, right? It's just like, oh, Emmaus is going to be there. He'll clean it up. And it's like, maybe they shouldn't do that, but they do, whatever. It's like it's so interesting to see how many different personality types can do the core stuff and get the result. And so I would just think back to that. Like, what are the things that everybody says? And, Emmaus hit every one of them, right? It's like, it's not to take away from him. But everybody that's on here that's successful says those things. And I think that's a really important thing to think about. And so that was a great.
We do this too. I mean, when you study the common trends of the crushers, it starts to become apparent on what to do. And it gives more assurance to know that's going to be worth it. And most people wonder, is this going to work if I do this, this, and this, and this? And the more we see it, the more it's like, nah, it's just normal that this will happen if we do this. And time and location, all those variances will play a factor on how fast said goal will happen. But it's really not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Right. And I think sometimes people, when they say, be generous, give to your agents, be okay with moving stuff. Sometimes people do it because they think strategy wise, that's what's to do. And then as soon as it happens again with the same agent, they get frustrated and it comes across. It needs to be genuine. It needs to be like Emmaus said, hey, if we end up never using me again, I hope we could be friends. He genuinely means that. Yeah. Not for strategy, but genuinely means that. And it's just, sometimes it takes me a lot of times to go in and maybe check my core energy, empathy level with, sometimes we get inundated with so many people in your business or in life that it can, maybe our energy isn't coming across like it usually is. And, go volunteer at a homeless shelter, go do something that fills go help family, go out there and do something that fills your cup, and go watch an inspiring story about someone overcoming. That's the easiest thing. Go watch The Pursuit of Happiness or Rudy or some story about someone overcoming some crazy odds, and just fill your cup with that. And that comes across, like he said, go work out, go do that. And it goes into your communication with those agents. So, so there's I feel like 40 takeaways from his 30 minutes. So my brain's going to I'm going to be wired all night, I feel.
Yeah. That's awesome. It's hard because sometimes when people get on, they say everything. I'm like, I don't even know what to debrief after that. Just go listen again. I need to go listen again. Cameron, very nice, sir.
I always pin a coaching shout out. I can't not. It's like habit. It just I can't control it. I don't know.
I'm allergic to pitching. Rod is my thing. I really want to work with more people, but I'm always the person that has to be told we need to pitch more. And so you pitch so well that it's you have that energy too. And that's why I'm grateful to have you on the team, where it's it doesn't come across as slimy, because I think you have the right intentions too. So I appreciate those.
It's what there's a belief, I've been at places before where I necessarily maybe didn't feel that deep down. I would try to convince myself I felt that. But subconsciously, deep down, I would know I might be leading people to their inevitable doom.
Yeah.
But it gives me a place of absolute purpose I love this. I love introducing people to business and bettering a business and building a business. But where they do that's really important to me. If I have someone saying hey, I'm investing in coaching, coaching is an investment. It's it takes some serious trust to tell someone your goals and to be hey, this could help you get there. You got to put in the work, the sweat, and the awareness and all the other factors, but we could guide you to it. It means a lot for me to actually know that when we put them back there, that onboarding with Ali or onboarding with your brother Aaron is always very meaningful, and they're genuine souls that want people to win, right? Just like Emmaus. And then to know that whatever coach they get, whether it's the launch coaches or the forward coaches, just to know every single one of them personally at this point, and to know that they're going to take care of them and answer their messages, and know that their whys are their students' whys, and that their purpose is helping them get to that. So I told myself I wasn't going to talk about coaching, but this is your fault.
I said it,
but it gives a lot for me to, and I know I'm somehow making this about me, I guess, right now, but it means a lot to me and to the team here to be able to lead people into what you have built here. So this is actually turned back on you now.
I'm comfortable.
But, thank you for this, because this is quite incredible comparatively to things I've been part of and seen before. So But
I was hiding from the praise.
I was about to say, like, I was about to be me by myself. I'm going to freeze and try to answer these questions and just say all the wrong things. So,
well, thank you, Mr. Rod. I appreciate it.
Aaron's calling me out because he knows
I know. I was like,
he knows I haven't seen that movie, and I told him to watch the movie and praised it, and then I told him later I actually never see the movie. It's one of those movies that if I watch it, I'll cry for 15 days straight, y'all, and I got time to cry for 15 days straight. I can't do it. Too busy.
We're having too much fun for a live Q&A, Mr. Rod.
We need to answer questions. Everyone's here like, oh my god, okay, I have a question. All right, y'all hit us with some questions. Also, I wanted to remind myself to ask something. Where is it in all my notes? Comment if you're new. Like if this is your first time on a live with us, comment, like say new in the comments so we can say hello. And then if you've spoken to our team here, one thing that really really excites the team here, whether it's, coaches or anybody, but if you've spoken to anyone here about coaching, whether it's Nicole or whether it's Aaron or Andrew or whether it's Marcy or myself or Allie or Lisa or Philippe or Derek or Dylan or Isaac, that's all of them, man. That's all I'm telling you. If you have, and it's a lot of new people, if you have spoken to anybody here on our team about coaching or whatever, and you had a quality conversation or a bad one, let me know if it's a bad one. I'm just kidding. But shout them out here if you had a good call with somebody on our team. Did I forget Andrew? I'm going to say Andrew just in case I did. I'm going to say Andrew just in case again. But yeah, if y'all have spoken to anyone here, comment, say a little something about it, and I usually take it to the team and let them know, and it does make them really happy to see that. So somebody say something, for goodness sake.
We got a Nicole and Isaac in here, so that's good.
Oh, you? Okay, here we go. And we got a lot of new people too as well. Armand, William, Dave Burley. His Dave Burley's first day. Keegan, right? Urbano Briella. Oh, I said it wrong 4 times. Kind of new. Aaron.
I didn't see that Dave Burley commented new. I would have been
smiling. I like his picture. It looks like he's climbing out of the yellow.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
I like that.
Dylan and Aaron got a shout out.
No,
yeah, we have a lot of. So we have Aaron, my brother, which is Aaron Jones, and we have Aaron Polakaitis, which is Aaron P. But then we have Rod. The problem now, we have Ariana on the team. We have Ariane, and we have our
Rihanna.
No, Rihanna. Yes, I was new hire coming in. I'm like, my goodness.
Rihanna. Yeah, it's starting to become a tongue twister. Right.
Anyway.
It's Urbano Burriola. There we go. I like the phonetic spelling of that, Urbano. Thank you for doing that.
Nick, I think everyone's Carl. He took another opportunity, started his own business, but he used to work with us. Anyway, if
Nick said he's someone that had an accent. Hold on, now I'm curious.
Yeah, Carl. That's what I was saying. It's got to be.
Was it Carl? Was it a South African? He had a mix of. It was a UK and a South African accent combined. It was like a spectacle.
Nick says Carl, yeah. Cool
accent. Yeah, that accent. I wish I had that. I'm gonna start doing that accent just for fun now, because that was quite a nice accent.
Well, if anybody has any real estate media questions, drop them in there. Appreciate you shouting out everybody on the team that you talked with. So
yeah, seriously, they love it.
Yeah. Well, now we're just waiting for questions, everybody.
Yeah,
if you're new here, actually, let's do this while we're waiting for questions too. Just comment. We talked about being new to the live. Comment roughly where your business is at. If you want to share monthly revenue or whatever.
You're brand new.
If you're brand new, I think one of the most important things, like the reason we do these lives too, where we bring on people especially is, for me at least, and that's who I can speak to, and so I try to do things that like Eli on day one would have benefited from and hope that helps others. But man, it was so good for me when I saw people that were ahead of me and I knew what was possible. And so that's why we do that. And so I think passing on what you've been able to build is like such a motivating thing for people just starting. So that's cool. So if you're willing to do that, go for it. 1 month in, 1K revenue, pushing to double every single month. Nice.
Well, I selected the wrong one, but heck yeah. And also comment wins. We forget to do the wins sometimes, and wins just fire me up more than anything. Y'all comment any wins that you've had in your business, whether it's beginning, first shoot, whether you just started thinking about it today and that's a win, or whether you're doing $100,000 a month for the first time. Any wins, no matter big or small, let us know.
Do you recommend Matterport or Zillow tours? Both, Bryce. Some agents will want Zillow, some will want Matterport. So we offer both at Norman & Young, and I recommend doing that. Should I start an LLC before doing any sales? Yeah, Armand, I mean, you can do an LLC or you can do a sole proprietorship. Either way, I would just get one of them set up. they're not a hard process to set up. So I would just get it done. And then that way you're in the clear to start, accepting money and running your business.
I called my accountant one day, just kind of like frantically. That created a lot of anxiety in me when getting in LLC and taxes. And now it's just fun and for sport. And I do it while playing 80s music, having a good time on a Sunday usually. But in the beginning, that was quite that I would say the most anxiety I would feel for some reason was centered around that side.
Yeah.
So call an accountant, tell them that, let them take care of you. And that's I've had my account now for over 10 years and I literally will call her for anything.
No, it's so good. That's part of
She's less responsive right now though, because it's Super Bowl time for taxes. And she takes 2 weeks, but I love her still.
You don't email your CPA in April. That's like
no, I do that all the time.
Okay. How do you deal with an agent that said they'll try you out, then ghost you? Yeah. I mean, they probably don't have a listing. And so you could look up and see if they have a listing, but I would say just kindly follow up with them every couple of weeks. Just check in, offer something new, just stay in touch with them because you never know when it's going to make sense for them to want to use you. Like I said, they may not even have a listing, right? And so you just have to position yourself so when they do, they want to try you. And that's just gentle follow-up generally.
Seen a lot of good wins.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me go through here. My Insta360 1X2 isn't getting the quality I'm looking for on a walkthrough. Should I get a Theta Z1? Yeah, I mean, the Theta Z1 will increase the quality slightly, but I wouldn't really worry about it. Matterport, I mean, if you're using it for Matterport tours, that's just kind of the way they are. I mean, it's good enough. What's up, Jay? Said I was in launch and did okay, kept after it after launch and had our first 2K week this week. Congrats.
That's my favorite thing is the ones that actually stay with it. And it's reminds me of Jeff and Jay. Y'all should make y'all should come up. Wait, hold on. Y'all should have a show on here. Oh, good stuff, Jay.
Jeff Wilcox is I think he had does he have a 15K month this month?
He was approaching. We were
somewhere
last month, or he was approaching it last month, I think.
Aiden said first 10K a month last month. Already have 8K in shoots scheduled this month. Aiden, congrats. That's crazy. Do you guys do a lot of broker deals at Norman & Young? Or is that
broker grandfather? So he's so good.
Grandfather, you're trying to
wait. He's not. He's only in his 40s though. We talk like he's 80. Nah,
because it's the wisdom. It makes him seem older.
Wisdom.
Yeah, Tucker. So broker deals are something we learned from Todd, and so we're implementing them at Norman & Young. We have some from the past. And so, yes, the answer is we do. A good portion of our business comes from them. They're structured slightly differently than Todd's. And so, yeah, I mean, they're absolutely great. I think they make the most sense to pursue once you're doing more than 25 grand a month and have more time to work those deals. So, yeah, absolutely.
This is cool. Otavio, are you the Otavio? You have to be the one that I talked to about 6 months ago. I'll never forget your name. If that's you, say yes if you remember me. But that's incredible. And John's getting a shout out. Shout out to Coach John.
Awesome. John's built an incredible business too that he mostly has autopilot. It's pretty cool. He's on our coaching side.
And he does. I met him I live in Pensacola, and I met him at a Pensacola car show. Finally, well, I mean, I've known him here, working with him.
Yeah.
Met him in person and had such a streamlined setup doing photos for everyone in their cars. It was just quite impressive how he has streamlined both of those.
That's pretty cool.
Real estate media and that. So it's he's a mystery to me sometimes.
Cameron said, didn't even realize, but in a 4-week period, Stripe has me at 9,500. Congrats. 18 months in. Geez, a lot of wins in here. 18 months in, 11K last month. Best month so far. Congrats. If you did 11K last month too, Ian, I mean, we're still going into busy season. I'm more saying that for others, not just you, but you probably hit a 20K month this year. I have a question. How do you know if your prices are reasonable? I've compared my package to others and I'm in the top 50%, but agents think I'm expensive. Yeah, really good question. You don't want to let one or two agents' feedback tell you. You really want to see what happens in general. So what makes, when you say agents think I'm expensive, how many people have told you that? How many clients have you served? How long have you been in business? Give me some of that info and I can help a little bit more. Scott said, when I submitted my first video clips to rep editing today, my own home, so no money coming in, but excited to see results. Keep putting in the work, Scott. What's up, Justin? Projecting to do 60K 2 months in a row for the first time ever, working towards doing our first 100K month this year.
Very nice, man.
Thank you for sharing that. Heavy hitter. Yeah. What's up? Another heavy hitter. A heavy hitter in the making, I would say. Jerry said, client ordered my biggest package and add-on selling almost 1,500. Geez, 1,500 for a single shoot too. That's awesome. Jerry, what are you at this? What was last month for you? No worries if you don't want to share it publicly, but you're getting up there these days. Nick, that is a great question. I think it's like 57 or 60 cents. I'm a little far removed from that, just because I have a great team that runs it, but it's somewhere in that range near what the IRS rate is.
Yeah, where's Trent?
I know. Like, Jared, Trent, help. Let's see. I've only purchased equipment, 360.
This is a semi-win.
Yeah, I've had a camera which has been horrible reaching out because I don't have 107 license, have my LLC too, Cornerstone. Yeah, don't wait to reach out. Start reaching out now. Just don't offer aerials until you have your license, And then
it becomes a nice follow-up. Hey, by the way, we do drone. It's a reason to reach out to them.
Absolutely.
It's always a good in everything. And is it Urbano? Am I saying that right, Urbano? If I'm not, let me know. Let me see. Let me pick one. I've seen this ask.
I picked one at the same time. I also noticed, I think it was Emmaus's dad was in here earlier cheering him on. So that was awesome.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Anyway, what were you going to pin?
This one. I've heard it been asked a few times, so I figured I'd click it.
What should we do when we reach out via Instagram method and they don't answer? Read, what's a good way to follow up? Yeah, I mean, that's normal. So like the metric that you want to look at is a 10% yes rate. And that takes time. You don't get it instantly. So keep following up every couple of weeks. You never know when they're going to open their DMs. You can comment on posts and just engage with them. I wouldn't comment like, hey, I sent you a DM and you haven't responded, but just like,
oh, yeah, no.
Light, but keep it, the thing I always say about a follow-up is there's really two things you want to have in a follow-up: a reason for following up and set an expectation of what your next follow-up is going to look like, at least with this type of business, right? So, when you follow up, it's like, hey, I just want to pop in here and let you know that I just got my drone license. And so I'd love to add drone photos to that last offer for you. I know you're busy, no need to respond. I'll check back in with you in a couple of weeks. So what did I do there, right? I said, number one, added to the offer, reason to follow up. Second thing I said was I set expectation that it's okay if they don't respond, because I want to be able to send them like 8 messages without them responding. And if you do that and it should have been responded to, they kind of feel weird and they usually won't respond. So like I let them off the hook. And then the third one is, like I said, is basically just setting the stage for when you're going to follow up again. And so I think if you do those things, it works pretty well. Sure, there's different ways to follow up. Everybody has their own kind of like strategy, but yeah, that's how I'd do it, especially given that a lot of them just didn't see it.
Their first question was, how do I know if my prices are reasonable? Was their first question. This was the information that you asked about.
So I've been doing the Instagram method for 2 weeks. Whoa, you did 500 in 2 weeks? I'm surprised Instagram let you do that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you get blocked at all, like temporarily? I've never seen 500 in 2 weeks.
A super trusted account. That's high. That's
really high. Yeah. I've only done free shoots. How many
Are you the owner of Instagram by any chance? Is it yours?
So I think I know there's a part 2 to this, but I think here's my thoughts on this. If you've done, it's only been 2 weeks. So like those agents don't have another listing yet. And so my guess is you just told them their prices and they're just like, cool, so give it some time, I would say. Let's see. How do you keep track of
shoots?
Yeah, Scott, in coaching, we have like a Monday CRM we built that allows you to like set follow-up dates and stuff like that. So that's like the ultimate thing, because that's why we built it. But you can totally do it in Excel and just change the date. It's just not as automated. Yeah, Violet, that's more normal. You have to like warm up your account. That's why I was shocked about the 500 thing. It's pretty good.
I like this win from Violet.
I haven't done any shoots yet, but I've got my business form, domain bot, logo, EIN, bank account 2 weeks in. That alone is further than I've gotten the last couple of years. Violet, you did the boring stuff already too, which is great. Like the first month.
Boring? That stuff is exciting. What are you talking about?
Speak for yourself.
Numbers? Come on.
Speak for yourself. But it's when it's done, it's exciting. The process of filling out the LLC form, not the most fun.
True.
Anyway,
I might be missing questions. I'm sorry.
What's up, Brad? Yeah, dude, isn't that so funny? Rod, you probably saw this, but it's crazy how many people respond when you say no need to respond. That's why I like saying that, because then people will just, I don't know. It's like
That's like when I ask people their goals on calls, I'll say, hey, and get as personal as you want, but what's the goal here? And then they get extra personal.
Yeah. And it's good because then you help the whys in there, Okay. Let's see. Okay. All 500 are on Instagram, 300 on Instagram, and 200 by phone through Zillow or online.
Why? 300,
yeah. How many free shoots
a week is.
It is a good amount.
So it should just let it get a couple months is usually let the data marinate, but you don't want to burn through too much and tap the well and be using a certain message that not, it could be a portfolio. So like if something's off in the process and we're reaching out a lot though, you can create an impression that's hard to revert back from. So it's almost like, try a sample size, don't see the data, try a new method. If they're saying your pricing is expensive, it's only been a couple, wait till like 10 or 15, maybe say that. But I think right now it's just you're in the data collection phase and you might not want to make any big movements until you have enough more data over a longer period of time.
Yeah, I'd say, if you haven't talked with our team yet too, obviously we'd love to work with you in coaching, but if you jump on, Rod will put the link up here in a second. You can show them kind of what you've been sending, what your messages look like, that sort of stuff. And they may be able to help guide you a little bit and just make sure you're not like Rod said, it's great when someone does, like they're like, I'm not going to do coaching yet. I'm going to try it myself. And they send like 1,000 messages and then they get into coaching and it's like, man, like they sent 1,000 of the wrong messages. So they kind of like burned those leads. And so that's why Rod's saying like, use the data to your advantage. Like if it's working, keep double down. But if not, then, figure it out first. Nick said, my initial goal was 4K. Carl said, we'll guarantee you double that. And I thought he was crazy. Now I'm doing double what he guaranteed. Nice, Nick. That's awesome.
Crazy becomes reality.
Sorry.
Sorry. Again, if it says the word coaching, I can't not click it. I know.
I also agree with the Brad thing. So that's cool.
Let's try this one. It's an opinion question. It caught my eye.
Do you believe in being listed as a Zillow photographer in the area or helps? Don't even bat Zillow and I in that regard. Hopes that makes sense. Yeah, they changed how their photographer program works so much. So like right now you can just upload to it. Or you like the agent has the lead on that side of things. So it depends on your market. I wouldn't worry about it too much until you get agents asking you for something in that regard. Hope that makes sense. Let's see. What other question you want me to answer, Mr.?
That's a good one. This is a really good question, Will.
Will said, almost hit my first 40K month in March. How fast do you guys usually get a new photographer? Wait, did you hit that by yourself, Will? How much team members do you have? 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. Closer to the 2 weeks would be ideal, Will, if you have the process dialed in.
Ooh, don't you always say, first photographer maybe a month, because that's the first impression to the agent that's not you, and then after that streamline about 2 to 3 weeks for between I want one and then in the home's doing everything.
Yes,
if done right.
The first one you have to be really careful with. You don't want to mess up the first hire because your agents will get they're going to project that however that goes is how you scaling your business is going to grow. And so if you mess it up, kind of sucks. But not to like put you down or anything. Just be careful with that first one. So you don't need to rush it unless you just, your question is framed in a way that makes me think you're really busy and you're like, how fast can I get someone in there? So just like hire great people that have great personalities, that like people, that are, people, and you'll do well. How do you get over the fear of talent?
That's a good one.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Rod?
Practice. Just I love that Emmaus talked about that a little bit earlier, how he sounds so confident on the phone, but how he's shaking and feeling super nervous and about going into that group of agent friends where he was talking about. So I'd say practice. But for me, a lot of like what helps me is, might be a weird thought, maybe, but it's like if you truly believe in what you do will help somebody and it will, it almost does a disservice to not do that. And I'm more afraid of knowing I can help somebody and knowing I chose not to. It might be a little intense, but it's like I'm choosing to not help these people by not reaching out. So it's like for the better good of them and the better good of everything, I don't want to choose not to do that. So the choice is it first stems from believing in what you provide and believing that everyone deserves a chance to be able to give it a chance. And then from that, everything just comes out natural. So I make it less about my fear and more about what am I preventing by my fear being here, and who am I not helping by my fear being here. And it could be thousands of people that's not being helped by that fear. So that's what helps me, stepping out of me and stepping more into who am I not helping by doing this now? So that's usually my thought. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
That's a great question.
I will say when we started contacting people, I'd say 90% of the people said, great, can you send us your webpage so we can check out your information? How do you recommend handling? Just for everybody's baseline, like I always say, don't make a website. And so I'd imagine this is where this question's coming from a little bit. I don't think you should make like a pretty website. I think you should have a Spiro account with an online order form. So when they say that, you're just like, yeah, absolutely. Here's my order form. It has all my pricing, services, info. If there's any specific stuff you want to know more about, just like let me know, but here you go. So just send them your order form. Let's see. Owen said, I got busy last year and neglected to follow up with leads on Instagram, maybe 6 months now. I want to go back to them. What should I say? I mean, just approach it, the same way you would. Hey, just wanted to pop in here. I know it's been a minute since I messaged you. A couple things have changed. We added this to our list of services. I'd love to update the offer on that. No need to reply. I'll check back in with you in a few weeks. Hope the year's off to a great start, something like that. And then, yeah, just don't make it weird that it's been a while, If you don't make it weird, it won't be weird. Let's see.
It's Midas Productions. What's your name, by the way? So it might be Midas, but congrats to you on getting your first house, by the way, and saving for a wedding. So congrats on the wins.
Congrats on both. Let's see.
All right, what else do we hear? What else we got here?
Appreciate you, Nick. Here's a good one. Zane said, my parents own a real estate company. I've done some houses for them. They trust me, but how do y'all deal with the legalities of going into a house without a realtor? Is that not an issue? It's not an issue, Zane. I mean, think about how many home service companies, it's when you're like in the realtor space, you kind of are like, oh, people, but it's not, I mean, it's every day. People have cleaners and maintenance people and whatever coming into their house all the time. So yeah, not an issue at all. Obviously just don't steal anything. If you don't do anything, it's not an issue. Burley said, or Mr. Dave Burley said, do you ever hire family and friends, or is that a bad idea? I mean, no, I absolutely do. I think you have to be careful though. So like, I don't think the family and the friends are the problem. I think it's the relationship that you have with them that makes you not willing to have a conversation that's the problem. So what I mean by that is,
well said.
Yeah, thank you. I've done it the wrong way. So said from pain, right? Like I hired friends that have not been good moves. And like the problem is when you don't act fast like you would with any other employee. So I'll kind of like split it up with family. The thing you have to be careful with, you're going to get a different level of loyalty with family, and like usually, but you also have to make sure that you don't treat them in a different way than you treat anybody else on your team, because that's a horrible dynamic. No one wants to work for a company where that's the case, right? And so same kind of thing with friends, but friends is tough because like sometimes you hire them because you're like, I know this guy would be great, but he's not a good fit for your company. And so if they are the right fit, awesome. I mean, we have both my brothers work for Norman & Young. Many of our team members have recruited friends and family to the business. And I think that's awesome. But we always look at it as like, is this the right person for the job? And sometimes there's, I love referral hires. We actually like pay people in our company if they refer someone, like a good bit of money, if they refer someone that joins our team. Because I want people being like, I know this awesome person. I don't care if it's their brother or someone they met 5 years ago. They, like I want people telling me who the awesome people are because I want them on my team. And so I don't know if that answers your question, but no, I don't think it's a bad idea unless you do it wrong. Hey, what's up, Eric? Questions on the best way to let agents know that the requests or expectations of what they order is not the same as what they want. Yeah, Eric, I mean, I would always say to communicate that ahead of time if possible. So, hey, I saw you order this. Sometimes they tell you after, but usually let's say they tell you after, right? Hey, can you change this? And it's like really changing it from like a 60-second video to a 1-minute video, or 2-minute video rather. You'd be like, yeah, absolutely. Just want to let you know, like that goes to a 2-minute video. So there'd be an extra charge of this. Is that okay? So just communication is the answer, Eric. And you are not going to be too salesy. Like I know you, I know how you come across. Don't worry about that. Just communicate in your normal way and you'll be good. Let's see.
It's cool. This is a cool win. Listen to this.
We just started not too long ago, and one of our recent and weirdest wins was our first package order was from an out-of-state agent who found us on Google for a full package shoot for her mom's home. Kevin, nice.
That's cool. I love that.
Eric, I'm messaging Kenny right
Kenny's been
now.
in the dungeon working on a lot of cool stuff. He calls it the dungeon. We don't actually have Kenny in the dungeon. He's safe. He's doing good. He's got plenty of water, plenty of air.
He
doesn't eat though. He does the Emmaus technique where, I'm not going to eat until I get this done, so.
Eric, Kenny's actually going to be on the live next week. he was almost here today, but he was working on something very important. So I suggested he work on that. Look, I got a notification from my Whoop bracelet that says you spent 9 minutes in the high stress zone today. I wonder what I did that made me stressed for 9 minutes. What a funny thing.
It was probably during one of our meetings today.
Yeah, it was.
It's gotta be it.
It was. I'm trying to think of my day. I was excited. Maybe it mixed stress for excitement for a couple of things.
It's gotta. All right, let's what else?
Let's see. We got time. What do we got? One more, two more? Yeah, that's the problem, Joanne. Easy to hire family, hard to let them go. But if you set expectations properly and you have a framework where they know, it makes it a lot easier. Like for every role, I think when your business grows, you want to have KPIs and like things they need to hit, so people know if they're not doing that.
It is hard to let them go. That's a good point, Joanne. Shout out, Joanne. You're on every one of these, by the way, Joanne. Yeah, we see you and we thank you for always being consistent with it. It's a good question by Aiden too. Yeah,
he's starting to make that money. He's like, when's it gonna slow down?
Hold on, it gets slow. Don't tell me.
Good news, Aiden. We're still early in the season, so it depends on where you are, like north to south. Honestly, like the more warm climate, the less slow season. But generally, it's halfway through November, it starts to slow down. December is usually half as busy as your busiest month. So if you do 50K in July, December's 25, and then January it goes back halfway between again. So whenever
I feel so special,
I start trying to find the comment whenever Rod's smiling.
I like this one from Urbano.
Enjoys playing the joke.
You enjoy playing it safe.
I enjoy
a high level joke. That's a good one. I like that. That's a good one right there.
Let's see.
I don't know, Dave. You might. It's like a head-to-head battle.
Just don't give up yet.
You both are incredible.
Well, thank you everybody for being here today. That was an awesome one. I'm tired from listening to Emmaus, but in the best way. So that's when I know someone has.
Man, I
nodding my head like it's
such an incredible person too. I thought maybe he'd be like mean or something at least, because I've never like talked to him directly, and I just heard about him for 9 months now, and I thought maybe he's like mean, like or something, or I don't know, you know. But he's an incredible soul combined with energy. That's the people that change the world. There's a quote about it's the crazy ones that change the world, and crazy in a good way, and it's the ones where you combine good soul with good energy. It's a fun combo, and everyone in here has an opportunity and a chance to lean in on that, even if we feel like we're not that person. I'm a wickedly introverted person that my wife will laugh at drive-thrus because I'm awkward at drive-thrus. I don't know what to say what to do with my hands. Sometimes can they see me? Am I too close? Am I too far away? And I get up and I say, and she always makes a joke when we leave a drive-thru, and she goes, "Okay, see ya." Because one day I was like, "Okay, bye," and like didn't know what to say. I went, "Okay, bye." But I love what I do, and I love helping people. And I know if I don't, less people will get helped. So y'all step into that with agents and just focus on them. He said at one point, we focus so much on our business, we forget to focus on theirs. And if you just start to focus on theirs, it's just the magic happens. It's an incredible thing. And it doesn't matter about introverted, shy, I don't have the energy. No, you just haven't found it yet. You know, we just got to find it and figure out your purpose and lean in on that. And if it's to help these agents and provide some peace for them, come on now, let's do it. Lean in. So I don't know. I'm going to ramble forever. We said we're going to end, but now I'm going to go on a 5-minute rant. But no, this business is cool. It's fun to watch. Everybody building it too. It's so incredible.
I had to pin a quick Nicole shout out here. It's funny because on our team, we all call her Mundle because her last name is Mundle. So every time I see
I was like, who's Nicole?
Who's Nicole?
Did I not say her name earlier? Now I'm freaking out. I had to have said Mundle.
You did. You did. Yeah. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. It was a good one. Speaking of this, Carlos, thanks for shouting out Nicole. Our team would love to talk with you. Is what we obviously talk about it a lot because we want you to join coaching because it's our business, but it's our business because we like it. We like helping people build in this industry. It's an industry that, changed my life, and it's done that for many people. So we'd love the chance to talk about working with you and make sure, what we can do, it aligns with what you're trying to do. So I think you'll see that the way we are on all of our front end content, YouTube videos, lives is how our team is on the back end too, meaning we're not high pressure. We just want to talk with you and see if it's a good fit. So we'd love the chance to at least have that intro call, and you'll leave with value one way or another. So go book that. The link's right here, and hopefully we'll see you on the inside. You'll be joining a good crew. It's like half the people in here are inside, which is fun. So
yeah, if you guys haven't talked to the team yet about it, hop in there, talk to them about it. We'll ask questions, make sure it's what you're looking for, go over it, and then we'll let you comfortably decide what is a fit and what's not a fit. And if you have already spoken to our team, shout them out again in the comments, please, because I screenshot it all and I give it to them to get all warm and fuzzy. Come on, create some warm and fuzzy. But also, if you have spoken to them already and you were not able to make it work or not able to make it work at this second, we love creativity and we love helping people get creative. So tell whoever you spoke to, hey, I want to do this. I want to get creative. Let's hop on it. Let's figure out something. And they love that creativity with everybody. So if you've spoken to someone already, reach back out. If you haven't spoken to us, yes, use that link and let's chat and let's see what we can do for you guys too. And we'll squeeze that busy season while it's still going. That's right.
Yeah, it's a good time to get started. So make it happen. We'll see you all later.
Bye, y'all.
We need the music. It's coming in. Hang tight.
What's it gonna be today? I'm like intrigued always.
I think it's gonna be this one. I don't know what it is, but 3, 2, 1. See ya.